Running Sentences presents a bonus episode short story. Welcome, and next. There is a secretary who is installed to filter people in the afterlife. Rod has been welcomed to heaven, and he's ready to argue his point. Or is he really? He's not really sure of himself, or if he is or isn't. This story is written and narrated by Michael Hunter. It is a work of fiction, so any names, characters, businesses, events, and situations within the story are products of the author's imagination. Any resemblance to real people, situations, characters, businesses, events, and/or fictional businesses, characters, events, and so on, is purely coincidental. Copyright 2025, Michael Henry, all rights reserved. Rod blinked a few times as he tried to sort out all that was going on in his mind. He was pretty sure he'd been sitting at his table in his office or his home, and now he was here and standing in a long line. It felt like it was a long line, but this white room with misty white clouds that sort of fogged up the space sure did a great job of obscuring him from seeing much of anything besides the person sort of standing in front of him, and he wasn't really sure of that either. And then there was the tiny little brick path of nice stones that were under his feet, which he could see. Anything else was rather oblivious, though. Next! In a rush, Rod found himself standing before a desk, where a blindingly angelic-looking woman, sort of, maybe, sat. With everything in a bright white, and even the desk of that same color, it was a bit hard to see anything. Hi, where am I? The sorting offices for the afterlife. So many coming through these days that we've had to move to a more bureaucratic measurement to get through all of you. So who are you, sir? But my name is Roderick Michaels, but everyone calls me Rod. Oh, wait, if this is the afterlife, shouldn't you already know this? Double and triple checking that we have the right person, and it's part of our goal. Too many people slip through the wrong lines, and there's hell to pay for that mistakes. Oh, great. Okay. And how did you die, sir? There were tons of emotions flowing through Rod as he was trying to grasp and hold at any of them, but they were just going through his fingers, much like a sieve. Confusion kept popping up the most, and it was getting easy to hold on to with all of these questions. I don't know. Do you, Yes, you were in your office and you fell over. That isn't a reason for dying, is it? Did I just die from falling over? Let's see. Let me check a moment. This angelic figure flipped through the pages of a book before them. They also, interestingly enough, had a computer to their side. But Rod wasn't paying much attention to that fact, as his mind was trying to sort out if this angel was male or female in appearance. Sort of looked female, but it was really hard to tell since they were bathed in this eternal white light that made the body sort of hard to see. But, take your time, I guess. I have nowhere to go. At least I don't think I do. Well, I do, I guess. Maybe, but, maybe I need to be sorted through quicker, though, so, move quickly, Roderick said, breaking up the quiet. Yes, here it is. You died from, Rod asked. Acute brain damage. What? I've never had anything wrong with my head. How could I die from something like that? You fell over. Rod reached up to scratch the side of his face, utterly confused for the moment. So I did die from falling over. Sort of, sir. Why is this even important? Do I get to go to some good place if my death was caused by someone else? Or, if it wasn't my fault? Or what happens? What's going on? If you've been a bad person and your actions resulted in your death, then it certainly is taken into account. Great, thanks. Good to know. Would have been better to know when I was on Earth. I believe there are many books out there that warn people to be good, otherwise you will wind up in a bad spot. Rod was nodding along, more tired and exasperated than anything else. Could this just be over already? Why was this even happening to him? He knew he had some bad parts of his life, but he tried to be a good person. How long does this, sorting process take? And, why hasn't it already been done? You should already know everything about me already. What can't you not know? What don't you know? There's just a few more questions and you'll be sorted out, the angelic-like creature responded. That only answered one of my questions. Don't you worry about it. This will all be over soon, Mr. Roderick. The angelic figure continued to work the papers in front of them as a grin appeared on their face. If he wasn't mistaken, Rod was sure it was a look of pure enjoyment. This seemed to be a thing that they loved to do, whatever it was that they were doing. Can I talk to someone higher up in the chain of things, please? Why would you need to? Why do humans always want to talk to someone higher up in the chain of command? To make sure that things are getting done right and that we have all the answers that we can get. His protests felt like they were falling on deaf ears as the scribbles of paperwork continued from the angel. Well, you won't have to worry about that. You'll soon meet the person higher up once we've sorted this out. Great, then you're all done and can direct me where to go next? Yeah, that's sort of the problem. Am I not on this list? Was I not supposed to die or something? Can I go back to living? That would be nice. Please? Rod tried to do his best to hide his excitement at that potential things going his way. But his hope was fading fast as the look from this angelic face was not happy. It was frowning, and it almost looked like it was fading into a darker tone. I don't think so, sir. Am I going to some place bad? No, it's the sorting that isn't happening, that's the problem. I have all of your data, but the problem appears it doesn't know where to place you. I have to ask you if you've lived a good life, Mr. Rod. Well, I did my best, but I haven't had anything really compare it to. I've known Mother Teresa. I heard she wasn't all that great. I don't really know, but you hear these stories. You should not be comparing yourself to others. Is that something I should have been aware of while I was alive, Mr. or Mrs. Angel? 'Cause you're going to run into a lot of people who spent their lives doing that. I am well aware of the curse that has taken over humanity when they come through here. They tend to moan about all the people they could have or should have been. But it's not your job to decide their fate, though. No, but they still complain. Mine is to put them on the right path, but do they ever listen and they compare themselves away and try and use that as an excuse? But I can't help them. It was a thought that worried him a bit, since he didn't necessarily fit into a path, so this angel had said anyway. What was he to do? Was he stuck here? Could they return him to Earth? They could return him to Earth, right? And he would make a promise to only say things about seeing bright lights. That was the usual line, wasn't it? But you don't have one of those for me. So, what happens to me? Am I stuck in a sort of purgatory until someone figures out what the issue is? I don't have this right path, so am I going to be forgotten about in said purgatory? Where are we going to go from here? 'Cause I don't want to be stuck waiting for answers. This angel, who he now realized had a little name placard that said Uriel, was flipping through pages in the book that they'd gone back to, and then gave a long, annoyed grunt of dissatisfaction by what they saw. I don't know. How can you not know? Can you contact someone to help us out? Hell no. You know how much paperwork I would have to do to get through if we were to do that? It would be monstrous, months and months, and I don't have the time. Neither do you. No, I don't know how this works for you. All I want to do is go to the right place, please. And that's your job to sort me through this system, isn't it? Yes, it's my job, but the system doesn't have you at all in here. But you have my information. You told me a bunch of stuff about myself. That was me, right? Yes, we have that, but we don't have a way of sorting you out into the proper lines. Rod felt a growing panic ripple through him. If he didn't have a place in the afterlife, what was to happen to him? Just tell me I'm not stuck here, please. I have to wait for the book to tell me all. You have to wait for what? The expression on the angel's face suddenly brightened. Oh, never mind about that. You don't have to wait anymore. Your door has arrived. Turn around and you can begin your journey into the afterlife. Relief swept over Rod, simply knowing that he belonged somewhere. He turned around to see a white door shimmer into existence a few feet away. It still didn't have a full appearance, but that was no matter as he strolled over to it. It was a few feet away, and when he was right in front of it, it solidified, and it had a sign on it. Purgatory. What? No, I don't deserve this at all. I've done nothing bad. He spun around to say this to the angel, only to find them gone. His whole world, or what was left of it, crumbled to the ground, and he went with it. To go to purgatory or stay in this quite quiet but fairly nice hellhole. What was it to be? The end of the short story bonus episode. Welcome, and next. Thank you for listening.